Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. With the viewers, welcome back to our class. Our discussion today is what? Complex numbers. Wow. In the real number system, this equation does not have any solution. X squared plus 1 is equals what? 0. There is no solution to this equation. But now, in this class, we are going to study the new number system called complex number. But before that, the conceptualization of this complex number can be traced back to 16th century, that is 1545, with the contribution of our great Italian mathematician, GERONAMO, who proved that there can be a negative term in a square root, and that is going to lead to what? To the solution of this equation that we have. That is, we have x squared plus 1 is same thing as what? 0. Therefore, this is same thing as what? X squared is same thing as minus 1. And my x is not same thing as what? The square root of minus 1. But with the aid of the contribution of our great Italian mathematician, CARDANO, this is same thing as what? S is same thing as iota. That is, which is same thing as the square root of minus 1. From here, we can derive another what? Another form of this what? Of this complex number. That is, if the square root of minus 1 is same thing as what? Iota. Then, what is the value of minus 1? Therefore, minus 1 is same thing as what? Iota what? Square. So, whenever I have iota square, it's what? Minus 1. The spelling of iota is going to what? I-O-T-A. Is among the Greek letters. The definition of what? Of complex numbers. Complex numbers are numbers that are expressed in the form of what? In the form of A plus I B. But this is not just I, is what? Is iota. Where what? Where A and B are what? Are real number. A and B are what? Are real number. Therefore, this my A is what? Is the real part. Real what? Real part. Why this my B is what? Is called the imaginary what? Imaginary part. Why this I is what? Is our iota. So, since complex numbers can be explained in the form of what? A plus iota B, my A and B are what? Are real number. And my A is the real part, while the B is what? Is the imaginary part. Good. So, the next step is that how can you identify your real part and your what? Imaginary. You'll be able to identify the real part and the imaginary part of a complex number, and how to write a complex number in a standard form, and then how are you going to give the description of the complex number. First of all, I have 7 plus 8 iota. This is not I, it's called iota. Now, how am I going to write it in a standard form? The standard form says that the real part plus the imaginary part. What's my real part in this first example? The real part is what? 7. 7 plus, then my imaginary part is what? 8 iota. Then how am I going to describe this? I can describe it as what? The what? The real part is what? Is 7. And what? The imaginary part. Imaginary part is 8. That's all. The next one, I have 4 iota minus 5. 4 iota minus 5. If you look at it carefully, What is the real part? The real part over here is what? Is minus 5. The one that is free from what? Iota. That is free from iota is what? Is your real part. Therefore, my real part is minus 5 plus 4 iota. So how am I going to describe this? This is something I was. The real part is minus 5 and the imaginary part is what? 4. Then we have the third example. Once you look at this, we only have what? Minus 9 iota, which is what? Which is the imaginary part. If you look at it carefully, our real part over here is what? Is 0. So how am I going to represent it in a standard form? Since my real part is 0, I'm going to write 0 plus minus 9 iota. So this is my real part and this is my what? Imaginary part. So this is something about the real part is what? 0 and the imaginary part is minus 9. Good. What about the last example? We have 12. Ordinary what? 12. Which is what? Which is free from the imaginary part. Then here, if you want to write in standard form, I can see it very well that what? That my imaginary part is what? Is 0. Therefore, writing in standard form, I'm going to have 12 plus 0 iota. And the 0 iota is something like what? 12. So how am I going to describe this? I'll describe it as what? The real part is 12 and the imaginary part is, what is our imaginary part? 0. So kindly subscribe on our YouTube channel for more exciting video. But before that, kindly drop the answer of this at the comment box. The description of this, drop your answer at the comment box. Thank you for watching Rock Math Class. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi.